of bulbs probably a few months ago and they've just been sat in the kitchen doing nothing, so I thought I would quickly plant them up and see what happens. Just remembered I had some pots tucked away in the garden and I just had a little look and there's little signs of life. I can't remember what's in these, so it'll be a nice surprise. Probably daffodils, maybe some tulips, I can't actually remember. Oh, that's lovely. See little signs of life coming. I'd love to see that after Christmas. Just makes you think of spring coming. The oven's going to be on today for a bit of baking, so while it's on I'm going to put in a batch of granola. This one is well, it's kind of based on the Deliciously Yellow recipe, which is pecan and cinnamon, which is a free recipe online. So I'm just going to go in with oats and lots of seeds. I like pumpkin seeds. I'm going to top up my own jar of granola, but I'm also going to give some jars as gifts. So I save jars like all through the year because I make a lot of jam, chutney, and the granola is going to look really nice in a jar. So I'm adding some sunflower seeds as well, pecan nuts. There's maple syrup in this as well, so maple syrup, pecans and cinnamon is just an amazing combination. I especially love cinnamon at this time of year. It's just, the kitchen is going to smell amazing. And this is something you'll have seen me having for breakfast quite a lot. I like it with Greek yogurt, some fruit and then granola, but this week I've been having it with milk and fruit, which is actually really nice as well. I haven't really tried that before, but I've enjoyed it because sometimes I've been kind of fancying like breakfast cereal, so I've had my granola. It's just such a yummy taste, and it's very sweet because there's coconut oil in it and maple syrup, but it's all natural sugars. There's no actual sugar in it. I would never add actual sugar to granola. So I just snapped some of my pecans. I'm going to add some hazelnuts as well because, well, I love them in it too. So I've melted some coconut oil and I'm just going to add my maple syrup into the coconut oil just so I can mix it together. And then I'm going to add some cinnamon. I don't really tend to follow recipes, I just throw stuff in. Obviously the first time I made this, the Deliciously Yellow one, I did follow the recipe and it was lovely, so I'm just following it quite loosely now because I know that the flavours work and I know roughly what the quantities are, so I don't worry about it too much. So I'm going to pour that on. It smells beautiful already. Kitchen is going to smell amazing. In fact, the whole house will smell amazing having this going through it, and I would love to receive something like this as a gift because that would be right on my street, so I hope the recipients like it. So I'm going to give that a good stir. I think I might need some more oats actually. I've got quite a lot of liquid there. It needs soaked up and it seems to be more nuts and oats in there, and I think there should be more oats. That looks pretty good. All the ingredients are nicely coated with the oil and the maple syrup mixture. Once this comes out of the oven, I will add probably some sultanas or maybe cranberries. I don't want to cook those because cat's messing about, because you don't want to cook the dried fruit because it goes like little rocks, it goes really hard, so I'll just put them in once it comes out the oven. Right, so I'm going to put that in the oven now, and you just need to keep stirring it every 5 minutes or so, and I'll leave it in probably for about 25 minutes. Good morning, happy Thursday. I hope you're ready to do some baking with me. I've kind of kept you in suspense as to what I'm actually making. For the past few years now, in the week before Christmas, I've been making a Yule log, so I'm going to make that today and hopefully be able to enjoy a bit tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying a new recipe today. It's a Mary Berry recipe and it's just one for a chocolate roulade. Her one doesn't actually have any covering on it, but I'm going to cover mine with chocolate buttercream icing. This recipe is a flourless one, so I'm hoping it's a bit more tummy friendly. It's also fat free, it doesn't have any butter in it. It does have, it's going to have double cream in it, but it should be a nice light sponge. So I'm just going to make the sponge now and pop that in the oven. The granola's in the oven. The smells coming out the oven already are amazing, gorgeous. I've got my Christmas music on and I'm ready to bake. Because it's Christmas and I just happen to have some cream in the house, I'm putting cream in my coffee this morning just for a real decadent treat. I do love cream in coffee and that's what you tend to get in a restaurant, so it's really, really nice. Okay, so I'm now ready to unroll my sponge and to fill it. And to fill it, I'm going to use, I like to use jam and cream. I've got blackcurrant jam and strawberry jam, so I'm just going to mix them both in and see what that's like. Normally I would use raspberry, but I don't have that and I didn't want to buy a new jar of raspberry jam because when we have jam, we never actually use the whole jar and it just ends up going mouldy, so I don't want to buy more. But we had these little jars, so might as well use them up. Going to stir them together. It should taste quite nice. The sharpness of the blackcurrant will actually be quite nice through the sweetness of the cake and the cream, and then the icing that's going to go on the outside. So that's going to be nice. I'm just going to clean up my board. cake is not 100% cold, but because it's slightly warm, it will help the jam just to melt into it, I think. And by the time I whip up the cream, the cake will be cool enough, so that'll be fine. So I'm just going to very, very gently unroll it and hope it doesn't crack. It's just cracked in half. Oops, never mind. Again, this is a recipe I don't normally use, so the cake may behave slightly differently to how I'm used to. But if it cracks, it's okay, it doesn't matter. So that's fine. I should also say I only used half the recipe. There's only 3 of us in the house, and whilst I could probably eat enough cake for 3 or 4 people, I really didn't want to have too much cake because there's going to be enough food over the next few days as it is. So I'm just going to spread on my jam. I probably didn't need both of those jars actually. One may have been enough because it's just going to be a little skinny roll, this one. A skinny log, should I say. A lot of people would really freak out if their cake's split in the middle like this, but honestly it doesn't matter. You can use your icing to glue it back together, and it's going to get covered in icing anyway, so nobody's going to know, apart from everybody that watches my video, but it doesn't matter. So don't panic if your cake splits. I'm just going to be quite gentle here and hope that it doesn't split again, because then it's just going to be one big piece of sponge glued together quite a few times. So that's fine. I've managed to fill it with my jam. And then I'm just going to whip up my cream. I'm not sure how much cream I'm going to need. I might not do the whole tub because, like I said, I only used half the quantity of sponge that the recipe asked for, and it's really small, so I probably won't need the whole tub of cream. But that's good news. That means we can save it for some mince pies. So I've whipped up my cream. I'm now going to just spread it into my cake. Probably done too much, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. Save it for mince pies and stuff. Okay, I've got my cream in, and I'm just going to roll it up again. I can't remember which way I did it, this way I think. I'm going to roll it up again, and then I'll transfer it onto my cake stand before I ice it. I'm going to put buttercream icing, chocolate buttercream icing on the outside. So that's another reason why I'm not too worried about the cracks, because I know they're going to be covered. So it really doesn't matter. Oh, this one is cracking a lot more than my cakes have cracked in the past, so I don't think I'm going to use Mary Berry's recipe again. So I'm going to put mine onto my cake stand, but because I want it to look like a log, I'm going to cut it so that I can add, to make it look like a branch on my log. If you just want to cut it at an angle, cut it about there. This is so squidgy. I'm going to have to be really careful lifting this onto my cake stand. I'm going to use a palette knife or something. This is the most delicate roll I've ever made. This is just so, it's just so breakable, this one. I would definitely not recommend this recipe if you have never done this before. I will put a link to the recipe that I've used before, and I would suggest if you want to try it, then I would use the recipe I've used before. The one that I normally use is a recipe by the Co-op, and it never cracks like this. So I don't know why this one is cracking so badly. So with your, got it the wrong way round, with the bit that you cut off, you're just going to sit it at an angle so that it looks like a little extension of a branch, basically. Like, where am I going to put it? Oh, I'm happy with how my branch looks. I'm going to flip it over, I think. Yeah, that's a bit more tree-like. It looks a bit of a mess at the minute, but I know that once it's covered in icing, icing hides all the sins, so I'm not worried at all. And plus, a chocolate roulade or a roulade will be cracked, so I'm not worried, I'm not bothered. So I'm going to leave it now, and I'll make the buttercream icing. I'll let you have a better look actually, sorry I didn't have the camera angled very well there. So this is my main piece. I cut it at an angle and I've just put the other bit here, so it's going to look like a log. Well, it will look more log-like once I've covered it in icing. And like I said, it looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but I know once I cover it in icing, it'll look absolutely fine, so I'm not worried. And it has cracked in so many places, but it's fine, don't worry, don't panic. I know a lot of people would probably give up at this stage and throw it in the bin, but it doesn't matter. Here's how it looks at the moment. It's still to get a bit of decoration on it. I've made it look a really weird shape actually. I'm not sure I've stuck my second end of the log on very well. Looks a bit strange, that angle, but never mind. Happy with that. Family will be happy with that. And I'm going to decorate it after I've had some lunch. keep meaning to show you some of my handmade Christmas decorations. So now that I've got a bit of time, I can do that now. These are my little mice that I made. I made them a couple of years ago. They were from one of the Tilda Christmas books. Tilda books are probably one of my favourite ones, and they're where I started out, and that is what gave me the inspiration to begin sewing, really, some of the Tilda books. So I made these a couple of years ago, and they're so cute with their little dungarees. This is an embroidery I did a few years ago. I just love these sort of primitive kind of simple ones. I think this is a free one. It might be a Lynette Anderson, I can't remember. I just downloaded it, traced it onto some calico and stitched it, and there's some silver threads in there as well, I don't know if you can catch them, and I really like that. Again, I've given it a tartan border. I love tartan at Christmas. And I got these lovely hangers. I got them at a knitting and stitching show that I went to a few years ago. So I think they just finish it off just nicely. We have redecorated our sitting room this year, and I haven't put nails back in the walls for hanging things, so I've had to just hang them on the cupboards and things for now. There's a few more handmade hangers over here. I've got this big heart again. That was just a free pattern from, must have found it on Pinterest, and I've added some sequins to that, which is nice because it catches the light every now and then. And then I put a little quilted border on it, and that just hangs up with a little bit of wool. And then we've got this one. I just made that one up myself. And I've got a cross stitch heart. It's actually a deep red. No, it's not a heart, it's a Christmas tree. It's a deep red. Its colour's not coming out very well here. That was a pattern, I think, probably from a cross stitcher magazine. And I did that when I was away on holiday one year in August in the sun. So that felt a bit weird, doing a Christmas project in the sun, but it was good to get it finished so soon. And you may have seen my little angel on my tree. She's also a Tilda angel. She has got a little hanger here as well with his name on it, and a little elf. And his advent calendar, my mum made that one. It's got little pockets, so he's had little sweeties in there every day. We've got my wreath here, which is a crocheted wreath, and there's loads of baubles on it, real baubles, as well as some pom-poms. So that's quite fun. It's hanging up on the door. And then through in the dining room, I've also got another wreath. Now this one is on a willow wreath, which of course I made the willow wreath, Portland Palace. Let's put that light off. And then the little gingerbread men are again from a Tilda book. There's 3 of them, and then some star anise and cinnamon and pine cones. I just love anything natural. I'll show you our stockings as well. They're not actual stockings. My mum made our stockings, mine and Joshua's. She made mine years and years and years ago, and it's a Santa. And it's just a little drawstring kind of bag, and that's really cute. So when I had Joshua, I asked her to make one for him as well. So this is Joshua's. Joshua's is a little bit different. It's good that we could tell them apart. And he's got a little pine cone on his and a leaf. My granola has cooled down. I added in the cranberries. It looks and smells really yummy, and it does taste nice. I have had a little taste. So I'm going to just pop that into some jars. Hopefully I've got enough. There might not actually be any left over for topping up my own jar, but that's okay. And as with the jar I gifted last week, I'll do some hand stamped labels for these as well, just saying what they are, which is cinnamon pecan granola. even a little bit left so I can top my own jar up. I just want to mention the tags. These are from Hayley, who's handcrafted love on Instagram. You might have noticed that my tea bag jars have these labels on as well. I've got quite a few of them. If you're on Instagram, I bet you've probably got some as well. So I've got my flour here, and I've got porridge oats, and I've got the tea ones as well. So if you're on Instagram, you've probably already come across Hayley, because it seems everyone's got her tags. They're so nice, and you can get them in different colours, whatever words you want, and she does them like seasonal ones, so you can get Christmas, Easter, all sorts of different ones. If you can think of it, she'll stamp it for you. I just wanted to take the time, now that I have time, to say a big thank you to all of you who have watched my Vlogmas videos. Whether you've just caught this one or whether you've watched them all, thank you so much for sticking with me. And if you've left me a comment or sent me a message about them, thank you. Everyone has been so encouraging and had so much nice stuff to say about them. And if you had told me a year, 6 months ago, that I would be doing Vlogmas, that I would already have 20 videos or 19 videos on YouTube, I would not believe you. I would have laughed in your face. I hate getting my photo taken, hate seeing myself, hate hearing myself, but I don't know what happened that actually made me do it, but I'm so glad I did, because I'm really, really enjoying it. And once Christmas is over, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm really going to miss making the videos. I'm going to have a little look around YouTube and see what people did last year, because I'm not sure whether they stop after December the 25th, or did they continue all the way through December? I'm not sure, so I'm going to have to see what people did last year. I've also had a couple of people ask, do I intend to continue posting on YouTube in the form of podcasts? And again, if you had asked me this last year at some point, I would have point blank said, no way. But I have really, really enjoyed this. I thought I was going to struggle with just sitting and chatting to camera, but it's actually quite easy, and once I start chatting I can't stop. So I might actually do some podcasts, I don't know. I'm not sure whether I would have enough to show in them though, because although I make a lot within a week, a month, a lot of that, or the majority of that, is for my business, and I don't just want it to seem like plugs all the time for, you know, the stock that's going in my shop. And a lot of the time I do knitting as well for myself, but I get a bit too tired for that sometimes in the evenings, so it feels like I don't really have a lot to show sometimes. So I'm not too sure what I would fill a podcast out with if I was to do some crafty podcasts in the future. Something that I'm going to have to think about, and I may just sit down and try it and see what comes out. I suppose they don't have to be long. Some people's are quite long when they're showing things like 5 projects at a time. I don't have that. I kind of tend to have 1 or 2 knitting projects on the go. I have crochet on the go sometimes as well, and I do have some whips, but it seems to take me ages to get round to continuing with those. Yeah, so it's mainly been socks this past year that I've made for myself. I actually haven't really done much sewing for myself either. Yeah, I maybe should rectify that, so I've got something more interesting to talk about in some podcasts. If you would like to see more podcasts from Sorry Me, then let me know. Let me know if that's something that you would sit down and watch. If it wasn't a Christmassy vlog, but a podcast, would you be interested? Would you be interested in seeing what I make for the shop? Or is that kind of boring? I kind of feel a bit like cheeky doing that. Just showing you stuff and saying, okay, this is for sale, this is for sale. But we'll see. Okay. I have just set myself down with a little pot of tea, and I think what I'm going to do is knit up one of those tiny little stocking socks. I showed you I'd made some earlier this month. I want to make a quick little one just to put on to the packaging of a gift that I'm going to give my mum, because my mum is also a crafter, so I think she'd appreciate a little hand knitted I can't speak, sock. I want to say stocking. Yeah, stocking. So I'm going to do one of those. They're pretty quick. Probably have that done in an hour or so. I'm in the middle of watching some So Sweet Violet podcasts, Vlogmas videos, so I may finish the one I'm watching and maybe find a film or something to watch on Netflix. I watched a film yesterday which I really enjoyed. It's called something like Christmas Love from the Coopers or something. It was on Netflix and it had loads of famous people in it, and I was expecting it just to be really cheesy rubbish, but it was actually really good. So I would recommend that if you've got access to Netflix, and I'll pop in a photo here of the film just so I get the title right, because I'm not convinced I've got it right. So okay, see what I mean about once I start talking I can't stop. That's me just talked for ages. Okay, so I'm going to switch off and catch up on some Vlogmas and a bit of knitting. Still going with my little sock, I'm not quite finished yet. I've just got to add in a heel, and these ones use a teeny little afterthought heel, which I've never done on a full size sock, but I have done on these little ones and it's not too scary. So I've just got the heel to do and then I'm done. That won't take long. I'm just stopping for a little snack because I'm really hungry. I've got one of these yogurts, it's Greek yogurt, and it's got a little bit of honey at the side. So I've just added the rest of my banana that I didn't eat at breakfast time. And I've also got a teeny little pot of granola. This is the granola that I made earlier, so once I've eaten some of the yogurt out the pot, I'm going to sprinkle this on the top. I just can't fit it in just yet. I'm having a nice little afternoon of catching up on podcasts, Vlogmases. I haven't actually bothered to watch TV at all. I've been catching up with So Sweet Violet, and unfortunately my iPad is just going out of battery, so I may pop the telly on now and just watch a bit of Kirsty's Handmade Christmas. And Joshua will be in shortly, so no doubt he'll want to watch something else on TV, or he might actually settle down and watch Kirsty with me. So I'll get back to my knitting, have my snack and watch some more TV.